Would you like to create the best possible paint scheme in iRacing for your dirt cars? Well, if so, then stick around because today we're going to be taking a look at a new smart template created by Heat Wave Design that'll not only give you a clean, crisp paint scheme, but it will save you a bunch of time with their smart template design. So, all of that and more right after this. Welcome, everybody. Thomas Brandon here. Thank you very much for joining me today. And like I said, we're going to be taking a look at a new smart template from Heat Wave Designs. Now, full disclosure disclaimer, Heatwave Designs, Cameron Colby from Heatwave Designs actually reached out to me about doing this video. If you had seen the previous tutorials I've done on how to paint your car, you'll know that the smart template I used in those videos was from Heatwave Designs. Well, Cameron actually really liked the video. He thought I did a good job of explaining it and asked me if I would take a look at this new vector template that he has and if I would do another video kind of reviewing it and showing how to use it. So, of course, I said, yeah, sure, why not? And here we are. Now, just so you know, he did give this template to me for me to do this video, all right? And in this video, I am going to give you my full, honest opinion on it and show you everything about it, all right? So, now that we've got that stuff out the way, let's dive right in. Now, the first thing that you need to know is that you're going to be using this in Photoshop, okay? Part of it is done in Illustrator. This is different than the other smart template that I used in previous videos where all of it was done in Photoshop. Now, the main difference between Photoshop and Illustrator is that Photoshop is pixelated where Illustrator is a vector. So vector is a much smoother, cleaner design when it comes to graphics and edges and things like that. Also, Illustrator is pretty much endless in terms of what you can create, where Photoshop, there are some limitations in terms of, the designs and what to do and things like that. But know this, Illustrator is harder to use than Photoshop. So if you're going to be doing this a lot, if you're someone who wants to paint a lot, or you actually want to start, maybe a painting business where you do custom wraps for other people, right? Or you just, like to paint your cars all the time like I do, okay? Then this template is something you'll definitely want to look into. However, if you are a casual painter, someone who doesn't paint that often, maybe, once or twice a season, right? You're just not, you do your car and that's it. This is probably not the best thing for you. Like I said, there's going to be a little bit more of a learning curve because of Illustrator. It is a little bit harder to use and it will take you a little bit more time. All right. So those are kinds of the pros and cons in terms of the different smart templates. All right. Now, what I will say is that the level of detail that is in this vector template is really, it's just crazy. Okay. We're going to be doing the big block modified. Now, first off, what he's got laid out in here is really, really cool. If we click on the miscellaneous tab right here, you can see that he's actually got here the different plastics that you can paint in the car, right? So if you want to just do like the stripes down the side, he's also got the inner pillars of the car, the engine cowl and scoop right here if you want to just paint that a different color. The roll bars, he's actually got it to where you can paint different aspects of the roll bars. So this is the whole, like all in one color, okay? Or if you want to do just what shows up around the driver's roll cage, you can paint that individually. You could also paint the, where is it? The Nerf bars. If you want to paint just the Nerf bars, you can paint those a different color. So he's really got this broken up into some really cool different features and aspects. And it makes it, like I said, pretty much endless in terms of what you can do and accomplish with your paint scheme, okay? So that's kind of the stuff going on in here. Now, when it comes to painting the car with the smart template, you can see that there's a lot of stuff here with the body where we don't really know what's what, right? We can look at this and we can see that, hey, obviously this is a side and this is a side, but this also looks like a side, and so does this up here. And what parts of the top is this and what goes where? And is it, why are we pointing this way with the sides, but then the top is going the opposite way, but it also looks like it's pointing, like, it can get really confusing. And so what he did was he's created what's known as a smart template. So right here, if you double click on this little icon right here, it's going to open up a smart template here in Illustrator. And what he's done is he's actually put the whole car together, not the whole car, but the main aspects of the car, right? The sides, the outdoor panels, the inside panels, the center, and the roof. He's put it all together. So you can come in and put all your stuff on here, whatever you want to put on here, and then have it saved, and it automatically gets put onto that other template in Photoshop. It's a really, really cool feature, and it's a huge time saver. It's a huge time saver. If you've ever tried to get graphics on different body panels to line up, you'll know that it's a freaking nightmare. So having this is just, it's just incredible. It really is. All right. So that's kind of the overview and the outlook of everything. Now, let's get into painting, shall we? So, for me, I am I like to have a pretty clean car, all right? And so what I'm going to be doing for this paint for this car is I'm going to be doing I'm going to be bringing back what I called my Black Ghost paint scheme, all right? And what it is it's a mix between like charcoal, black, obviously, and then it'll have just some really light red outlining, okay? Some really light red stripes and highlights and stuff like that, all right? So the first thing that we're going to do here is I want this center piece along with the roof. Actually, no. We're going to make the center pieces black. We'll make the inner panels black, and then these outside pieces and the roof will be charcoal. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So the first thing I got to do is I need to actually change the base color. Now, when you get into Illustrator here, first thing I want you to do is go up here to where it says switch workspace and put it on layout. That will give you the layout that I have here, which is a lot closer to Photoshop. So it'll have some, similarities in between the two, so you don't get really lost and confused on stuff. Because like I said, there's a ton of different stuff here in Illustrator, a ton of different stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to change this base color. So I'm going to grab my selection tool. I'm going to select the whole thing here, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hold down shift to bring up the color UI, and I'm just going to drag this down. And actually, I'm going to put these at 0 all the way down. There we go. And then move this to 85. There we go. So now we've got our silver. The next thing I need to do is I need to color these center pieces. Now, the easiest way to do, well, and also these indoor panels, the easiest way to do this is to actually just grab my pen tool, okay, and create a shape. So I'm going to create a new layer. All right. And I'm just going to go around this whole thing. Now, I can go outside the lines like this because this is all masked, so it won't show. All right. So that's our centerpiece. Now you can see that that is also gray. And so I want to make that black. So I'm going to select it, come up here, hit shift, and then make that black, which I think is 50, 50, 50, 100. There we go. Okay. So now that is black. Grab my pen tool again. And now I need to do these door panels. And I'm going to just do both of them at the same time. and those are also black. All right. So we've got our centerpieces and our inside door panels, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually turn off the base color and I'm just gonna hit save. I just wanna move these centerpieces over to Photoshop. Now, really quick to show you that this works, I'm gonna change the base color here to silver. Or that, kind of that charcoal gray that I was talking about. I'll get my paint bucket, make it gray, right? And you can see here, see how that's the rest of this stuff is black? The rest of this is black from the other template. Now, once I bring this over, once I save this, Control S, and we come back to Photoshop and this finishes saving, there we go. Now you can see that we've got our black centerpieces, our inside panels are black, our roof is gray, our side panels are gray, so we're good, right? We're absolutely good. We just did our graphics on our black, the parts that we want black. Now that's just for this, okay? There's other stuff that we're also going to do black, but we'll look at that later because we need to actually get some stuff on here, all right? Now, when it comes to your logos and graphics and all that stuff like that, if you wanted to create graphics, you would do it on this one right here, okay? And you can do that a multitude of ways. Like I said, you could grab a pen tool just like I used, if I wanted to do something like this, like let's say I just wanted to do something that looked like that, right? Boom. Okay. So that would be our new one. And let's say just to show this, let's say I want to make this red, right? Or whatever color that is, pink, okay? So that's how you would do that if you wanted to. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep this one pretty clean, but that's what you would do in terms of creating graphics, okay? The other thing that you can do is put your numbers and your sponsors, all your logos and stuff on here. Now there is a wireframe here if I turn that on, and this will give you kind of an idea of how the car, the bending of it, where the Nerf bars are going to be, all that type of stuff, so you can make sure to get your numbers and everything on here good without getting things messed up, right? So that is another thing that you can do. But with this car, I don't need to do that here because I mean everything else that I'm gonna be doing is going to be done on the Photoshop side of things. Okay. So this is really for you who want to be doing, really in-depth graphics and things like that. You would draw them on here. Same thing with the numbers and stuff like that, okay? But since I'm not going to be doing a bunch of crazy, designs and stuff like that, I don't need to do that, okay? We've got our part that we wanted to do saved, and now we can just hop back over here and finish our car. So, the next thing that we're going to be doing, okay, we've got these black graphics. I need to actually save these, okay, as a smart object for later when I do my spec mapping, all right? So what I'm going to do is it says do not edit. I'm going to actually copy this, drag that down. I'm going to rename this black graphics, all right? I'm going to take off that lock. And now this is not linked with that smart template illustrator anymore. It's its own thing. It's separate, which is good. That's what we want, okay? So the next thing I want to do is I want to, first of all, I want to turn on the wire because I like to be able to see where that is. There we go. Move that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my other parts that I want to make black. So you can see here, like I was talking about the plastics, those are already black, which is those bottom pieces. Those are already black. I'm going to leave that as is. The inner pillars, right? These right here, okay? I'm going to make those black. Get my paint bucket. Highlight that. Make those black. Okay. Deselect. The engine cal and scoop, I want to make those also black. Boom. All right. And then I'm just going to make the, yeah, I'm just going to make the roll bars all one color. Those will just all be black. Okay. There we go. All right, so now that we've got all of our black, the next thing that I'm going to do is the miscellaneous stuff, the stuff that I've painted black, okay, minus the, actually no, I'm going to get the driver. So the driver roll bars, the engine cal, the inner pillars, okay, and the plastics. I'm going to grab these, all of these. I'm going to copy them. All right. I'm going to convert all of them into a smart object. And then I'm going to bring that down here to my black graphics, put it in that folder. So now, when I go to do my spec map, I'll have all of that black so I can spec map all of that stuff the way that I want it, okay? So we'll come back to that here in just a little bit. The next thing we got to do is we got to do our logos, all right? Now you can see here's the decals that iRacing puts on the contingency stuff. We need to get our stuff on there now, all right? So I'm going to go File, gonna place Embedded, and I need to go to my logos. Get my SSR logo. And I'm going to actually make this line up with the angle of the body. See that green line? That's kind of the angle. Won't have it be too extreme, but I'll have it. There we go. Move that down a little bit. There we go. So there's one. Now I'm going to copy that. And I'm just going to move that right up here. See how those three pink lines show up? And I'm going to rotate that around. So it now matches this angle. There we go. So got our SSR logos there. The next ones I need to do are my contingency logos. Also, I have a bunch of logos I'm going to be putting on. If you want to know where the sponsors, where iRacing puts them, you can highlight this right here, and it'll show you all the spots, different spots that you can put them. Okay, so there's a bunch. I mean, you can basically put them wherever you want, right? But that is one thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do is if you wanted to really just kind of put it however, right? Just literally just plaster your car. You can come back here and literally put it in every open spot that you can find. I mean, it's really up to you. I try to keep things as clean as possible. I don't like things to look too cluttered, too overwhelming. And so I'm going to be doing just my some logos here. I'm going to put my numbers here, obviously the roof, and then I will, put one up here in the front, and like basically that's going to be it, and call it good. Okay. All right, so the next one that I want to put on is going to be my BBR logos. Wait a second. There we go. And where is my BBR logo? There it is. Now, oh wait, that's not the right one. Whoops. My bad. I think that one's actually on my cloud documents. I got so much stuff. There we go. Because I need to change the color of this. Yeah. So I want to change the color of this. So everything that, all of this stuff here, that's a different color. I'm just going to make it black and white. Change that stroke. Make the stroke white. Oh, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Okay. There we go. There we go. Copy that. Move it up. Okay. So got that. Uh, Next, I need my team SSR, which is on my thing here. That is, oh yeah, that's right. That thing got messed up. So, what I'll do is I'll put this one on here. There we go. Okay. So I've got just a couple more logos. King Clothing. And we're just going to rotate that 180 degrees. There we go. Looking good. All right. So now we've got our logos. Okay. The next thing that I need to do is I need to put all these logos together. And so I'm going to highlight them all. And I'm going to convert all of them into one smart object and call them logos. There we go. So now I've got my graphics. I've got my logos. The next thing I need is my numbers. Okay. Oops, I need to get these two. I need to move those down here to that. There we go. And then I can turn those off. There we go. Okay. So I've got my logos, got my graphics. Now I need my numbers. All right. This will be simple enough. So the top number will be black because we've got the silver top here, the gray top. I'll load up my text tool, and I need to get the text that I'm going to use, which is the same text I always use for my numbers. Go 35. And then I actually like to kind of cock mine off to the side, have it a little crooked. Need to make sure it's centered. Okay. I'm going to stroke this. We're going to go 3, but I'm going to do this the same color as this. And the reason why is because, well, you'll see. So then I'm going to do another stroke. This one will be on the outside. It's going to be black, like the number. See how it does that? Then I'm going to actually add a drop shadow. Like that. Okay. So now I've got that. Now, the next thing I want is I want to do a white outline around the whole thing. But in order to do that, I've got to turn this into a smart object. Now, first of all, this number is really crowded. I don't like that. See how it's like too far together? There we go. Now it's spread out some. That's better. So now doing that made that a little bit bigger. So I need to move that over. I actually have to make it a tiny bit smaller. There we go. So now I'm going to convert this into a smart object like that, because then I can go in here and go to stroke, and now my stroke will go around the drop shadow. See that? Just like that. So now it really makes that number pop. All right, makes it look really, really good. Okay. Now, this number right here, I'm going to use the exact same number for each side. So all I'm going to do is copy them, drag it down, and just rotate it and resize it so it fits over here. And I want to have the 3 and the 5 right like above that circle right there. There we go. Okay, there we go. Looking good. I'm going to make another copy of that, and I'm going to drag this one to the top, and then once again do the same exact thing. Just rotate it around. Get the right angle of the number. Like that. And then get it in the right spot. Like that. Bam. Coming together pretty nice. All right, so we've got our sponsors on here, got our numbers, we've got our graphics, right? So like we're looking good, right? We've got what we want. Now I could go on here and put a bunch more stuff, but I just don't want to. That's just not really my style. I just don't like doing that. I like to keep my cars looking clean. And so I'm going to just go with this. This is what we're going to go with, all right? Just leave it like this. So what I'm going to do is I need to make sure the paint looks good, and then we got to get our spec map, okay? Now the best way to do that, and I'm going to close this out because we're done with that. The best way to do that, it's really a matter of choice, all right? Most people will tell you that it's doing the new painting thing here in iRacing, where you go to your car, right? The big block modified, you click on it. Oops. You click on it and it brings up your paint and then you can look at it, right? This is what most people will tell you. For me, that is that's a negative, Ghost Rider, because for me, when I go to do my spec map, I don't know how to do my spec map with this. I can never get it to create right. So I just bring up a test session. That's what I do. I still do it the old school way. Okay, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're just going to go test drive, bring up the big block modified. I don't really care what track we're at. All right, so we're just going to go to test. Just bring this car out here and park it right here on the front stretch. Okay, and then get out. Fast forward. There we go. So there's our current car. Okay, so now we're going to go back here. We're going to turn all this stuff off. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this to my cloud documents. Big block black ghost. There we go. And then we got to save. Oops. Come on, save. There we go. Then we got to save this as a targa. So we're going to go here. Now there is a way to create actions and all that type of stuff like that. I don't do that just because I get stuff mixed up and I usually end up screwing it up. So I just go through this. So I just PC documents, iRacing, paint, find the car, right? Dirt, modified big block. We need it to be a Targa, TGA. Car number 370, that's mine. So we're going to just overwrite this real quick and come over here, hit Control R to refresh it, and boom, there's our new paint. Now, really quick, you will notice that there's some stuff here, right? Like, what's going on? We got this little shadowy looking stuff. That's the old spec map, okay? So I need to delete that because right now it's over the top of this and it's making it look like crap. So I need to delete that real quick to make sure that everything looks good before we continue. So I'm just going to go into the documents and find it, which you just come in here. And the one that we got to delete is this right here, car spec, the MIP file. So delete that. And then if I hit Control R, boom, there you go, right? So now we've got our paint. We can see here that we've got our different aspects. The car is painted. There are a few open spots here that I could probably put some more stuff. maybe another logo right here or one right here. Um, to be honest, I'm just not into that, and we're just gonna leave it. Gonna call it good. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. Okay. It looks good like that, and I'm gonna just call it good. All right. So we've got our paint. The next thing that we got to do is we've got to spec map it. All right. Now, remember all that stuff that I was copying earlier? Well, this is where that's going to come into play. So we've got our logos, we've got our black graphics, all right, and then we've got our numbers. So I'm going to copy my numbers, bring that down here. I'm going to turn that into a smart object, the copy. My black graphics, I'm going to copy that and make the copy into a smart object. Okay. And then I'm going to grab these copies. Oh, I need to copy the logos also. Okay. Then I'm going to grab these copies and I'm going to bring them up to the spec map folder. All right. I'm going to turn off that and turn on the spec map. And you can see we got the numbers, the logos, the graphics, and we need to grab these and we need to put these into the red channel metallic. And when we do this, you want to make sure that the parts are over the top of it. All right, I've always been told that the parts get stamped on last, and so you want to make sure that the parts are, when you're spec mapping, over, okay, because it can make things look messed up. So, first off, numbers. I actually want my numbers to have a real, like, metallic look to them. So I'm going to go color overlay. I'm going to make these look really metallic. I'm also, and when you do this, make sure it's on B. I'm also going to, let's go with 50. We'll try that first. I'm also going to put everything with the same in terms of roughness, so it looks like the whole car has been painted as opposed to like decals over a paint job. So logos, I'm going to do the same thing with my logos. Now the logos are not going to be as metallic. I'm going to actually put them down to 35, but the smoothness will be the same. And then black graphics. So the black graphics, I'm going to put these also at 50 for the metallic. Okay. And then my base paint, which is the gray, the silver, I'm going to put that actually at 60. All right. Now, is there anything that I'm missing? Let me double check. My roll bars I put with the graphics. So no, I've got everything. I've spec mapped everything so far. Well, I've done the metallic, okay? So that's that. So now we're going to grab our numbers, our logos, and our graphics once more. We're going to copy it again, and we're going to drag it down into the green channel, which is our roughness. All right. And in there, you can see right here, see where it says detail? Uh, don't mess with that. That's like where the dirt is and stuff like that. You don't want to go messing with that, okay? That's for stuff when you're racing. So don't mess with that. This thing right here, this metal, that's that right there. You don't need to mess with that either, okay? So those things, don't worry about spec mapping those, okay? Just spec map the stuff that you put in here, okay? And then the base paint. So numbers, we did a 50 on the metallic. Now for the smoothness, we're going to put them at a 10. We're going to do everything with the smoothness of 10. Remember, the closer to 0 for the roughness, the closer you get to 0, the smoother, right? So 10 is almost like glass. If you were to go to 100, that would be like a real matte looking finish, right? It would almost look like it would almost look like a, an Oreo cookie texture, all right? So logos, we're going to go here and we're going to put that to 10. Black graphics, same thing. $10. And then base, we're going to put that at 10. Now we're going to go File, Save As. On the computer. Right back to our folder here inside of iRacing. And we're going to save it as car underscore spec underscore and then your number. Boom. And then when I come over here and I hit Control R, voila. Now we've got it spec mapped. And I forgot to resave that paint. Had that big number on there. I got to change that. There we go. And now you can see we've got our numbers, our logos. See the difference in the texture of the paint? Right? You can see when you look at it that the numbers have got kind of a metallic shine to them if you look at them at the right angle. Right? Whoops. And that's it. Our paint is ready to go. Now, the reason why I do it this way is because if I bring up my Documents folder, we'll go to Documents, iRacing, Paint, Dirt Modified Big Block. This right here, Car Spec MIP, the only way I know how to get this is to do it the way that I just did it. That's the only way I know how to get that. You have to put this in here, Car Spec, and then this will pop up. So that's why I do it this way. If there's another way of getting it, I don't know how, I'm sorry. So, but that's the way that I know how to get it. So now all we got to do is we just need to go to Trading Paints, right? Bring up My Paints. We'll go to Dirt Modified Big Block, Custom Number. We're just going to upload a new paint. And then go to that one that we just did. Car number. There we go. Got it. And then we go here. Whoops. And then we click on that and we go to Add Spec Map. And there it is right there. Boom. And now we're good to go. There's our new paint job in Trading Paints. If you want to do one without the custom number, and first of all, once you get that uploaded, what I recommend you do is you go in here to Documents where these paints are, and I suggest you take these paints right here with these numbers. I suggest you get them and cut them out of that folder and save them somewhere else. Because what'll happen is if you leave those in there and then Trading Paints is trying to put the ones that upload the ones from their server, it can cause different shadowing effects. The spec map could stay on there and you have an old spec map over a new paint and it can just make it look like crap. And so I always cut those out and I'll just save them in a folder. So like new paints, right? BB mods and, you know, custom number, and then, right, just create a folder, Black Ghost, and then just put them in here. Bam. So now those paints are no longer on there. But if I go back and open up a test session, so load up the new test. After we've deleted those and everything, I already got them up in Trading Paint. So you load up the new test, go on to the track like we did before, and you can already see Trading Paints has loaded up our new paint with our new spec map, and we're ready to go. We're set. We've got everything all taken care of. All right. So that is how you paint with the new Smart Vector template from Heat Wave Designs. Now, really quick, before we go, I want to just once again, please reiterate, full disclosure, Heat Wave Designs asked me to do this. They've provided me with the template, and I told you I'd give you a kind of a tutorial and an open and honest review. My personal opinion of this template is that it's amazing. It does awesome work, and what you can create with it is really limitless. Okay, that's my personal opinion of it. However, I will say, unless you are a very serious painter, unless you paint a lot, or unless you want to actually have a painting business, right, where you do custom wraps, I would not recommend this for just the average, everyday, Joe Schmo. Because like I said, there's a lot to it. You're going to have to learn how to use Illustrator more, and, it can be fairly complex. So if you are serious about painting and you want the best looking paints, this is for you, in my opinion. This is absolutely for you. If you're just kind of wanting to change it up every now and then and you only do your own stuff, I would recommend checking out the free templates that he has on his website, and then maybe just kicking him a couple of bucks in a donation or something like that. So that's my personal opinion, all right? But anyways, that's going to do it all for this video. Now, really quick, please do me a favor. If you like this, hit that like button. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we've got a ton of stuff coming. If you think I put out a lot of stuff last year over just 9 months, I mean, think about that. SSR's only been around like 9 months. If you think I put out a lot last year, you got another thing coming. I've got so much stuff coming. It's not even funny. Legitimately, it's not funny, because like it's like I don't even get to sleep. It's crazy the amount of stuff that I'm going to be putting out, because I just want to help. And we've done a ton on the dirt side, and I'm super proud of it. And we've built this amazing community of thousands of people, and it's awesome. And now I want to do asphalt. And, I know that I can get into that and help a ton of people, because we've built the dirt side enough, and I've got people on the dirt side now that are not only, phenomenal people, but they know their stuff, and they're professional drivers. I mean, that they're the best of the best. And they know the setup stuff, and I know that they can handle stuff for me, so I can focus on the dirt side. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity right now, and I want to be able to take it and help it as many people as possible. Like, that's the whole reason we started doing this. So we've got a ton of stuff coming. I'll always be doing dirt because that's what I love, but we got some asphalt stuff coming too. It's finally on its way. I'm going to be working on the late models, the SK mods, the NASCARs, the actual cup cars, the trucks, the Xfinities, all of those. So if that stuff sounds good to you, make sure that you hit that notification bell and subscribe so you get notified when I put out those videos, because they're coming really, really soon. All right. And then if you want to actually join SSR, head over to the links down in the description below. Join the SSR community. The community that we got right now is for dirt. We haven't built the new asphalt side of things yet. That is coming, because it will be separate than the dirt stuff. We want to try to keep them separate because, it'll be too big. But it is, the dirt stuff right now. So if you want to be a part of the dirt community and stuff like that, links down in the description below, along with the private Facebook group. And then also, if you want to join me, I do live stream, I should say, on Wednesdays and Thursday nights. Our league races tonight, we'll be doing the 360 wing sprints and the big block mods, and then tomorrow night we're going to be running the dirt midgets and the non-wing sprints. And so if you want to head over, join me for that. It's a ton of fun. We have a great group of like 40-50 people who show up. It's just a lot of fun. If you want to join us for that, ride with me in the car, watch me build setups and do adjustments and talk and just have a good time. Links for all of that stuff down in the description below. But that'll do it. Thank you as always. Until next time, I want to wish you good luck, good racing, good painting. Take care.